All right, it is Fantasy Football with McLovin time. It is an early Tuesday special. McLovin's going home for the holidays, so he won't be here for a normally scheduled Wednesday. And obviously we have games on Thursday coming up. So let's go right on into the news and notes. Roger Goodell says it is ideal for Raiders and Chargers to stay put. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said the, quote, ideal scenario would be for both the Chargers and Raiders to remain put rather than join the Rams in Los Angeles.
I think the Raiders should go to Vegas. I think they're all ready for Vegas. If the NFL wants to make the most money, then they'll agree for them to go to Vegas. The only thing about them is they're stopping them. You know, the players. Having players around the city of Las Vegas when it is associated with the NFL is not what the NFL is looking for. They'd make the most money. I think they're just coming out and saying this right now. I don't think there'll be any other team in Los Angeles this year. Just the Rams.
Smith Sr. says he, quote, bumped heads with Newton. Former Panthers wide receiver Steve Smith Sr. revealed he bumped heads with Cam Newton in Carolina, saying, quote, we were two people in two different phases of their life.
They physically bumped heads?
Well, I don't know if they physically did.
Two very, same person. It's all about them. Steve Smith Sr. is still a great receiver in this league. He's done, had a big year with Baltimore. Cam Newton is Cam Newton. They're both ego-driven pieces of shit. They both have had a very good NFL career, both are very talented people, and we'll see how their respective teams end up this year.
RG3 will practice with Browns next week. Cleveland Browns quarterback Robert Griffin III will practice next week, Coach Hugh Jackson said Friday.
Yeah, we'll see what he can bring to the lonely Browns. They're terrible.
Lowly Browns.
Lonely Browns.
Oh, lonely, okay. All right.
Yeah, they're terrible. I don't see them winning a game this year. Even with RG3, who's been hurt all year, he's hasn't really been an effective quarterback, even with Washington since his maybe rookie or first year. So I think it's going to be, great to have him back, but he's not going to do anything.
The Ravens' Flacco shrugs off Ray Lewis' comments. While Ray Lewis' comments about Joe Flacco's lack of passion for the game caught him off guard, the Ravens quarterback said, quote, it's not anything I'm not used to.
Yeah, I heard these comments. Ray Lewis is a piece of shit. He needs to realize that without Flacco, they don't win that Super Bowl, and he's just I hate Ray Lewis so much. He's just making these comments just to make comments when he's saying it because he's black, and he's got to realize that without Flacco made some big plays in that Super Bowl, and was really the main reason they won the Super Bowl. So Ray Lewis just needs to feel like he's relevant again by saying something in the media, so everyone will come to him and listen to what he says. So he sucks.
Le'Veon Bell won't apologize for patient running. Quote, I'm controlling the pace. Le'Veon Bell on the art of his running style. Quote, when I'm running, I tend to see a lot. I believe I can see all three levels of a defense.
Le'Veon Bell is probably the best best running back in the game right now. In all three facets. Running, blocking, receiving. He really is a top-notch running back. The only problem with him is that he always gets into trouble and suspended. But, as long as the Steelers have Bell and Brown and Roethlisberger, they're going to be a tough team to deal with. But Le'Veon Bell is definitely a force and a guy you have to revolve your whole defense around.
Rams Quinn. Dehydration caused health scare. Rams defensive end Robert Quinn was told to drink more water when he was admitted to the hospital early Monday morning after suffering a health scare.
Yeah, I mean...
that was a week ago Monday, by the way.
Okay, well, I know he played.
Yeah.
So...
Ravens don't consider Dak Prescott a rookie quarterback anymore. By definition, Dak Prescott is a rookie quarterback, but the Ravens know full well that by his performance on the field, he is anything but.
So this is last week, too?
Correct.
Yeah, well, he's not. He's playing like a veteran. He's playing like a veteran. Him and Ezekiel Elliott, are playing at a top-notch level. They have everyone ready to play, and everyone's excited about what the Dallas Cowboys have done so far this year, and where the possibility of them is going. And they're certainly not rookies anymore. They've played, they've 10 games in the NFL season. Makes them relieves them from the rookie status, but I think they'll be a tough team to play in the playoffs, and I think sky's the limit for Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott.
So 3 days ago, the Steelers, Hayward, and Wheaton to IR, Dupree active. The Steelers activated linebacker Bud Dupree off injured reserve, while defensive end Cam Hayward and wide receiver Marcus Wheaton have been put on IR and are done for the season.
Yeah, it's going to hurt Pittsburgh for sure. Anytime you lose a guy like Wheaton, he's a big part to that offense there, and Roethlisberger needs all the help he can get because he's going to be battling with injuries, for the rest of the season with Pittsburgh. We'll see what happens, but I think Pittsburgh still has enough talent to win that division.
Okay, Dolphins waived Culliver, and Pouncey was out on Sunday. The Miami Dolphins waived veteran cornerback Chris Culliver on Saturday, the team announced. Culliver was rehabbing for major knee surgery.
Chris Culliver, he's a kid that used to play for San Francisco 49ers. He was a good player, wasn't great. We'll see how much that it affects, his team and what he can do for the rest of the season. He's a solid player, but I don't think he's a great player.
Rams cornerback Hill ruled inactive after DUI arrest. Los Angeles Rams backup cornerback Troy Hill was arrested on suspicion of DUI on Saturday morning and will be inactive for Sunday's home game against the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, a last week news article, but what do you feel about that? Well,
you got to stay out of trouble. I mean, that's the bottom line is, when you're an NFL player, you're representing the league, you're representing your team, and if you, get arrested, obviously it's going to be all over the news, and then you're going to be, impacted as far as, being suspended and losing a game check, and also, probably getting a suspension from the league.
Source, Eakly suffered concussion versus Saints. Luke Eakly did in fact suffer a second concussion in the past 2 seasons during the Panthers' win Thursday night against the Saints.
I saw the highlights, the low light. Luke Eakly is one of the better linebackers in the NFL. Top to bottom across the board, and you could see him. He was pretty upset. This is a type of injury that can really shatter a defense because he was the heart and soul of that defense, and basically losing him is losing the best defensive player on any roster. So it sucks. He's a good player. He plays hard. I'm not a big Carolina fan, but still, he's a good guy to watch. And he plays the game right, and he keeps his mouth shut. So it's sad to see those guys go down.
Sources: linebacker McClain suspended another year. Cowboys linebacker Rolando McClain, whose 10-game suspension was scheduled to end Monday, will now be suspended for another year, an NFL source said.
Did they say for what?
Well, let's look.
Well, that's not good. He must have done something wrong.
Here we go. There are doubts he will get to play again in the NFL after recently missing another drug test, NFL sources told ESPN. McClain is likely to appeal the latest suspension. According to sources, McClain was serving the current suspension for testing positive for opiates. So, there you go.
Opiates, not a good thing. That's a heroin type of drugs. You're looking at Oxycontin and Oxycodone, and you figure that after a 10-game suspension, your first drug test after that you would think would be the one that you're clean for, and apparently not this guy. I think his NFL career is done. It sucks. He's a good player, but his priorities are his priorities are with his drugs rather than his career. So
he cuddles up at night to his drugs.
Correct.
Sources: NFL mulls changing London start times. You're a fan of these games. In a continued effort to improve television ratings, the NFL has discussed the idea of moving the 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time games played in London to a 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time start time, according to sources.
Well, they could do this. I mean, I played a game over in London, and the 9:30 Eastern starting time on the East Coast, it's like a night game. You're playing literally a night game over in London. So if you move it to 1 o'clock Eastern time, then it's really going to be a late night game in London. Now teams stay over no matter what after win or lose after the game, but I'm surprised that the NFL hasn't done this already. You figure if they want London to be a new home for one of the NFL teams, that they wouldn't take the whole game away from those that live in the United States. You know, they wouldn't show it at 9:30, or when you're showing Jacksonville and Indy at 9:30, no one gives a shit. You know, really, they're really. No one wants to be there. It's just one of those things that nobody wants to be in London except for the NFL. The players don't want to be there. The coaches don't want to be there. The working staff doesn't want to be there.
Even the ball boys don't want to be there.
Yeah, nobody wants to be there. The refs don't want to be there. The TV people don't want to be there. It's one of those things that, and they always pick. You always see the teams with the home games are teams like Tampa Bay and teams like Jacksonville and teams like Indianapolis. You never see the Giants losing a home game, or the Patriots losing a home game, or Dallas losing a home game. All these franchises tell the NFL to go fuck themselves when they say, yeah, you want to play in London? They're like, sure, we'll play in London if we're the away team. We're not giving up a home game to do so. So you saw that with Mexico City, last night, where they're really capitalizing on these bad football teams to take a home game away from them and play it over in London, because it's going to be the same as if they played at home. No one's going to watch anyway, So that's why you see these great franchises never being involved in a Mexico City game or a London game. And there's a reason why they're at 9:30, because no one's going to watch from the United States, so they make it better for those in London. But it's just such a shit show, and they've done it for so many years now, and it's too bad. But I don't even remember what the question was.
It wasn't even a question; it was just a statement. Yeah, the NFL's looking to change the start time.
If they change the start time, it'll make what the start time will do is make it more feasible for the people living in the United States.
There you go. Elliott sets Cowboys rookie rushing record. With a 2-yard carry on the first series of Sunday's game against the Baltimore Ravens, running back Ezekiel Elliott set the Dallas Cowboys rookie record for rushing yards in the season.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I think Tony Dorsett, he broke Tony Dorsett's record.
Correct.
Yep. Tony Dorsett's a Hall of Fame running back, top-notch guy. Ezekiel Elliott, you can't say anything bad about him. He's really brought his game every single week. He's really carrying that team, and it's probably the MVP of the National Football League, not just the Rookie of the Year. If the way he keeps running, and if he keeps running the way they do, and their offensive line keeps blocking the way they do, they're not going to be stopped. They'll win a Super Bowl if this continues. If no one can stop the Dallas running game, then no one's going to beat them.
Bengals lose wide receiver Green, running back Bernard to injuries. The Bengals lost receiver AJ Green for at least several weeks with a hamstring injury, and running back Giovani Bernard reportedly for the season with a torn ACL on Sunday.
Well, losing AJ Green is huge. Basically, he's one of the top 3 or top 4 receivers in this league. Cincinnati's season is pretty much over anyway, so but definitely losing him is definitely, and the running back is definitely a slam in the last in the last nail in the coffin for the Bengals.
Source: Bills McCoy to play despite surgery. Bills rusher LeSean McCoy with his thumb and wideout Robert Woods with his knee suffered game-ending injury Sunday against the Bengals. McCoy had surgery but will play this week, a source told ESPN.
Yeah, this is typically LeSean McCoy will sit out, but he understands that the Bills need to really win the rest of their games just to have a fighting chance at making a playoff, getting a playoff spot. But whether he plays or not, we'll see how they can play as a team, and I expect that if he plays, he'll play well, and hopefully that Buffalo can try to make a run at making a playoff with them in Miami.
Bucs Mike Evans ends protest, stands for national anthem. Mike Evans, who caused a stir when he sat for the national anthem last week in Tampa, rejoined his teammates and stood for the anthem on Sunday.
I think someone, got in his head and said, look, you better shut this shit down. It's really, it's an embarrassment to the team. It's an embarrassment to the league. Mike Evans is not usually a trouble guy. He's just trying to make a statement for whatever reason. He's a great player. Wish he was on the Patriots. He'd be a perfect fit for the Patriots. He's a guy that no one knows about, and maybe that's what he felt. He had to do something like this so people would be talking about him. It doesn't make any sense to do that anymore. That is past as far as sitting for the national anthem. But this is a good player, a good kid, and I'm sure he wasn't doing it to spark any negative attention towards himself. But it's good that he ended it.
Vinatieri's record streak of made field goals ends at 44. Indianapolis Colts kicker Adam Vinatieri missed a 42-yard field goal on Sunday, snapping an NFL record of 44 consecutive made field goals.
Yeah, like we've talked about Vinatieri in the past. I love Vinatieri. Without Vinatieri, the Patriots, probably don't have a dynasty. They don't win those games against the Raiders in the Snow Bowl. Or don't the field goal he made against the Rams in the Super Bowl, or the field goal he made against Carolina. The field goal that he really made the difference between the Super Bowl win against Philadelphia. So this is a great kicker. He's a Hall of Famer, and if you ever talk to a New England fan about Adam Vinatieri, it's all going to be positive. It's never going to be negative. And this is a guy who's really had a second career in Indianapolis now. He's been there for a while now. 7-8 years maybe?
Probably more than that.
Yeah. So good for him. I really Adam Vinatieri is welcome. Anywhere in New England, and he deserves it because he's a legend.
Ravens wide receiver Smith is 14th to reach 1,000 catches. Ravens wide receiver Steve Smith became the 14th player in NFL history to reach 1,000 catches on Sunday.
Steve Smith he's really a damn good football player. I know we talked about him early. The thing is with Steve Smith is why he has diarrhea of the mouth, and it always seems like he's angry. He's just always angry at something. It's somebody's fault. But anyway, he plays at a high level. He has played at a high level since I remember watching him. Even 10 or 11 years ago when Carolina was in the playoffs, and this is a guy that was unstoppable. And 10, 12 years later, he's still going, and he's not a big guy. He's dealt with a lot of injuries, but it seems always get back, and really is a true veteran in the NFL as far as not practicing during the week, but when it comes game time on Sunday, he's always up and ready to play. He plays at a high level. He's lost some speed, but still he can outrun a lot of defensive backs even at his age. I like Steve Smith as a player. As far as Steve Smith the person, I could care less for. He talks too much, and I really like watching him play. But we'll see how many good years he has left. He's having a great year with Baltimore right now, and is really the only target that Joe Flacco has, especially downfield. So he's a big part of that Baltimore team. Without him, they don't stretch the field. So
Placekickers missed record 12 PATs on Sunday. NFL Placekickers set a post-merger NFL record with 12 missed extra points Sunday, including 2 misses by both the Bengals' Mike Nugent and the Giants' Robbie Gould.
Yeah, it's Robbie Gould is garbage. We knew that. The extra point is, it's when you look at the extra point, it's always assumed. It always has been for the past however many years football has been going my entire life. It really shakes things up. It shakes things up, where it's not guaranteed, and unfortunately these guys miss extra points more than they usually would because it's a further distance. It brings into play the 2-point conversion, which is pretty exciting. Basically, you're going to see a lot of more kickers losing their jobs because of the extra point, because a lot of guys are going to miss extra points, and that's not acceptable. So basically what you're going to see happen is the 10 to 15 kickers that are solid, you're going to see the other 10 to 15 kickers just revolving from one team to the next
Correct.
team.
It's going to be a kicker carousel.
Correct. Yeah. So you know, you got to make your extra points, but you know, if you don't, it could cost your team a win, which could cost your team, you know, a playoff, which could cost your team, you know, a playoff bid, and you know, from there. So those extra points are more valuable now than they were in the past.
Bears rookie Floyd taken off field on stretcher. Chicago Bears rookie linebacker Leonard Floyd was taken off the field on a backboard in a cart after a frightening injury Sunday, but was released from a hospital after medical observation.
I didn't see what happened to him, but anytime you leave the field on a cart, it's not good. These guys are big, strong, talented men.
Big, strong, sweaty men.
The last thing they want to do is one thing they always want to do is walk off the field. But if they can't, then you know they're in some serious danger as far as their health goes.
Seahawks running back Prosise out with shoulder injury. Seattle Seahawks coach Pete Carroll says rookie running back CJ Prosise has an injury to his shoulder blade and is, quote, going to be out for a while.
Well, you know, the talk about a carousel, the Seattle running back carousel continues to move. Basically, you know, this probably steps up for Thomas Rawls now. CJ Prosise, you know, had a big game against Philly, but I guess he injured himself. So, well, Thomas Rawls has been hurt the whole year. We'll see if he is. It's his backfield now. So we'll see what happens.
Fisher on Goff's debut, quote, you could see the light. Jared Goff, the number one overall pick in this year's draft, made his NFL debut for the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday. Said coach Jeff Fisher, quote, I was really proud of him.
He didn't do much. I don't know what game Jeff Fisher was watching, but the same game I was watching, you know, he was playing like a high school quarterback.
He was taking his bell to the dance.
Yeah, he didn't really do much, but I guess that's what he has to say.
He's not going to say he was fucking horrible.
Correct.
What did I do?
Correct.
All right, Niners fear Reid has torn biceps, sources say. San Francisco 49ers fear safety Eric Reid suffered a torn biceps in Sunday's loss to the New England Patriots, sources say.
Yeah, this is another sucks to be a 49ers fan. You know, they're 1-9, and now they have one of their best players on defense out for the year. You know, there's going to be a big-time shakeup in San Francisco.
Bengals linebacker Burfict appeared to flip off crowd. Cincinnati Bengals linebacker Vontaze Burfict appeared to make an obscene gesture toward the stands late in the fourth quarter of a 16-12 loss to the Buffalo Bills.
I think we've talked a lot about this guy. He's really, you know, he should be behind bars, and, you know, no one really cares for him. He's really a piece of shit. And, you know, I wish he would get suspended more often than he's on the field, but, you know, it's not my call.
McCarthy, Packers must scramble to save season. Coach Mike McCarthy says the Packers, quote, understand clearly what's in front of us after a loss to the Redskins put them 2 games behind NFC North co-leaders Detroit and Minnesota.
Yeah, they're in a lot of trouble. They're in a heap of trouble.
A whole heap of trouble.
Yeah, they're losing something on that team. You know, Rodgers played decent for what it was worth, but you know, I think it's time for Mike McCarthy to move on. And like I was saying, I think that's a perfect place for Tom Coughlin to land at the end of the year. But I think the Packers are done. Cowboys
cornerback, quote, no respect for yapping wide receiver Smith. Cowboys rookie cornerback Anthony Brown says he got tired of wide receiver Steve Smith Sr., who was in his 16th NFL season, constantly talking after play Sunday.
That's just who he is.
Cowboys closing gap on Patriots as Super Bowl faves in Vegas. After their 9th straight win in cover, the Cowboys are making a case to be Super Bowl favorites. Plus, where early betting is going for Michigan, Ohio State, and how the books did this weekend.
Yeah, like I just said, if the Cowboys keep playing the way they are, it's going to be, you know, them and the Raiders or them and New England. I think the Raiders are a better football team than New England is right now, but I think Dallas is clearly the best team in the NFL.
Cardinals Arians out of hospital after feeling ill. The Cardinals said on Monday night that Coach Bruce Arians has been released from the hospital after feeling ill overnight.
Yeah, he's going to be on the sidelines, I guess, this week. So this guy's had, you know, some problems in the past, and you know, I think it comes from, you know, the stress of being an NFL head coach, and we'll see, you know, if he can rebound and, you know, at least be there and make an appearance. so the team can, cheer or whatever.
Lewis apologizes to Flacco. Quote, wasn't even personal. 4 days after calling out Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco's passion for the game, Ray Lewis apologized via Twitter saying, quote, it wasn't even personal, and that he was just, quote, frustrated.
He should apologize. It's just he shouldn't even. Why stir something if it's not there? Like, what are you trying to do? Just say, he was my teammate. He was a leader, and we won a Super Bowl. That's all you have to say. But Ray Lewis just needs to continue to run his mouth and make himself look like a fucking idiot.
Tomlin criticizes officials for, quote, bad calls on Sunday. Steelers coach Mike Tomlin was critical of officiating in Sunday's 24-9 win over the Cleveland Browns and believes the league should explore full-time officiating.
I heard this, and I don't know what full-time officiating, how much that's going to change. They pretty much have everything that they possibly need to officiate these games correctly, and they still fuck it up. It is a human element to the game, and these guys do get strict training and have to pass tests and everything like that. But all they want to do is the refs are a lot to blame here and there, and they do deserve it. But I don't think making them full-time employees would really change that drastically.
Jets to start quarterback Fitzpatrick against the Patriots. Ryan Fitzpatrick will start a quarterback for the Jets against the Patriots on Sunday at MetLife Stadium. There was also news that Patrick also fits Henry.
Patrick what?
You don't get it? Patrick fits Henry.
Patrick fits Henry? What is that? I don't get it.
Patrick fits Henry.
Yeah? Who's Henry?
Patrick
Yeah.
fits, F-I-T-S.
Yeah?
Henry.
Patrick fits Henry.
You get it?
No.
He fits him.
But who's Henry?
Some random dude. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
He fits Patrick. And then Patrick fits Henry.
Okay.
Falcons agreed a 5-year deal with right tackle Schrader. The Atlanta Falcons have agreed to a 5-year contract extension with right tackle Ryan Schrader.
Good player, not great.
Eagles may reduce role of struggling Aguilar. Eagles head coach Doug Peterson may reduce the role of wide receiver Nelson Aguilar so he can get his head straight. EDP's going to love this news.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Browns to start McCown. RG3 still not ready. Josh McCown will start a quarterback for injured Browns starter Cody Kessler with Robert Griffin III not cleared yet.
Yeah, they're the Browns. I mean, I guess Kessler. I mean, he's their best option. I mean, they suck. They can't beat anybody. So we'll see. If this guy plays one more game, then RG3 comes back. So
Freeman's second bear suspended for PEDs in week. Chicago Bears linebacker Jerrell Freeman has been suspended without pay for 4 games for violating the NFL's policy on performance-enhancing substances, the team announced Monday.
Yeah, same with Alan Branch with the Patriots.
We're going to go right there. Yeah. Sources, Pat Branch faces 4-game suspension. Patriots defensive tackle Alan Branch is facing a 4-game suspension pending appeal after testing positive for marijuana, league sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter.
That's not good.
Sources, Vikes eye December Peterson return. Adrian Peterson is making progress from a knee injury and could return by December, according to sources.
They need him.
Badly. Bengals Green with his hammy will likely back this season. Wide receiver AJ Green will miss at least the Bengals game against the Ravens this week with a strained right hamstring.
He's coming back this season?
It says that, yeah. Maybe.
Well, and the doctors know more than I do. So, he is pretty much all that offense, and, he's a good player, and I hope he gets better.
Used to know how to pronounce this guy's name. Clowney, what's his first name?
Jadeveon.
Oh, is that how you pronounce it?
Jadeveon. Like Dontavion.
Yeah. Sure. Jadeveon Clowney might, quote, hate it, but switch to DE, paying off big. Quote, I hate it, but I play it, the undersized Jadeveon Clowney says of his new position. The move has the former number 1 pick thriving. Yeah, this guy really
needs to step up, and I know he's playing well, but he needs to go and play better because he was the number 1 overall pick. So we'll see if he can pick it up.
Source: Bears quarterback Cutler injured shoulder Sunday. Chicago Bears quarterback Jay Cutler is undergoing tests to determine the severity of a shoulder injury he suffered in Sunday's 22-16 loss to the New York Giants, a source confirmed.
Yeah, I think he's done for the year, is what they say, and we'll see where he takes his next snap. I don't think it will be with the Chicago Bears. I think they're going to uproot that team and go in a different direction.
Season ends for 49ers Reid with torn biceps. San Francisco 49ers safety Eric Reid suffered a torn biceps in his right arm on Sunday against the Patriots, an injury that will require season-ending surgery with 6 games to go in the season. We talked about that.
Yep.
Luck in concussion protocol in doubt for Thursday. The Colts could be without quarterback Andrew Luck and safety Clayton Geathers for Thursday's game against Pittsburgh. Both players suffered concussions Sunday.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Andrew Luck's going to play for Indianapolis on Thursday, which, America was looking forward to watching him, I guess, and, he's not going to be there, so I think Scott Tolzien is going to be the replacement.
Ex-NFL cornerback pleads guilty in Ponzi scheme. A former NFL player and his business partner have pleaded guilty in Boston to running a multi-million-dollar Ponzi scheme involving fraudulent loans to professional athletes.
Who?
Doesn't say. You want me to tell you? It's a New York Giants player, I think. Will Allen.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Will Allen and partner Susan Daub pleaded guilty to federal fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering charges in federal court. Daub lives in Coral Spring, Florida, and pleaded guilty Monday. Allen lives in Davie, Florida, and pleaded guilty last week. He played for the New York Giants, Miami Dolphins, and New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Prosecutors say they got money from investors by saying they were making high-interest loans to professional athletes. In some cases, the loans were for less than they claimed or were non-existent. Prosecutors say they took in more than $35 million and repaid less than $22 million.
Wow.
Sentencing is scheduled for February.
They're in trouble.
You think so?
Yeah.
How in trouble are they?
A lot.
Really a lot?
Yeah.
Like I'm fucked?
Millions of dollars, yeah. They're fucked.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else we got here. We got some stuff going on here. Hold on one second. Oh, boy. Here we go. Brock Osweiler shows improvement, but Texans still have work to do. The Texans struggled during the fourth quarter on Monday night in Mexico City against fellow division leader Oakland.
Yeah, Osweiler is just not a good player. I think he showcased that again on Monday night. He like I said from the beginning, he's an average quarterback at best. Just because they gave him so much money, they figured that he would, be a better quarterback, but it really hasn't turned out that way. And I think, Houston really, took a gamble on, Osweiler, and they've lost thus far. O'Brien
doubts refs, quote, call on Texans would be touchdown. Coach Bill O'Brien was less than pleased with the officiating in the Texans' 27-20 loss Monday night to the Raiders in Mexico City.
Yeah, like I said, we talked about these referees, and, it's too bad that the referees have to have something, in impacting the game, and I don't know what you're going to do, and we'll see. It's just a human element, I believe, and I guess you can try to hire new guys or, obviously, they need to go in a different direction than what they've done with officials thus far.
All right, so we got Larry Fitzgerald. Mistakes haunting Cardinals are, quote, unexplainable. Why are the Cardinals on the verge of falling out of playoff contention? Larry Fitzgerald isn't sure, and he's not happy about it.
I wouldn't be either. This is a guy that works hard, plays hard, and is a Hall of Fame wide receiver. And, Arizona has really fallen off a cliff. They got old quick, and, it's going to be difficult for them to rebound and, make a playoff spot.
Texans defensive end J.J. Watt expected to take next step in rehab. J.J. Watt was expected to head back to Houston this week to continue with his rehab from back surgery, according to a report by ESPN's Lisa Salters.
This guy's been hurt all year, which is too bad because he's a good player. The more these injuries pile up, the more it's going to affect his long-term career. He's a little like the defensive Rob Gronkowski. Very rarely is he going to play a full season, but when he's on the field, he's tough to deal with. So we'll see how if he can stick it out for the rest of the year.
Osweiler says laser from stands was, quote, very distracting. Texans quarterback Brock Osweiler said a green laser coming from the stands shined into his eyes multiple times during Monday's game and, quote, definitely affected his play.
He's just making excuses.
Chargers defensive end Joey Bosa focused on winning, not personal goals. Joey Bosa is more focused on helping the Chargers secure victories and putting up monster sack numbers of his own.
He's a great player. He's going to be, a great player in this league if he stays healthy for the next 10 to 12 years. And, he really has a lot of talent. No one really knows about him because he plays on San Diego, but they will know about him. He'll be a Pro Bowler.
Arians, quote, doing good, will coach Cards on Sunday. After a brief stay in the hospital, reportedly for chest pains, Cardinals coach Bruce Arians tweeted that he's, quote, doing good and was, quote, back with the guys Tuesday.
Yeah, that's good. Like I said, they're going to have to really run the table. They're going to have to get to 10 wins, 11 wins just to be a wild card. So they need all the help they can get.
Watt says, staph infection threatened my leg in 2015. Texans defensive end J.J. Watt credits a team trainer for recognizing staph infection and possibly saving his leg during his injury-filled 2015 season.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, yeah. If you lose your leg, you're not playing football anymore.
Football!
So, good for the trainer or whoever caught it.
Bucs cornerback AJ Berrima suspended 4 games. The NFL suspended Buccaneers cornerback Jude AJ Berrima, hopefully I didn't botch his name, 4 games for violating the league's PED policy.
I don't know much about this, the player, but this is happening a lot this year with the 4-game suspension, and it's you're losing a quarter of your paycheck, for the year, so that sucks.
Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels worthy of consideration for head coaching job. If an NFL team is building a short list of candidates to be head coach or GM, Bill Belichick has some names that he says must be included.
No doubt. I think McDaniels and Patricia, for that matter, are on the top of the list. I believe that McDaniels is going to ride out the offensive coordinator until he...
until Belichick retires.
Correct.
You read that? Yeah,
yeah,
I read that too.
Yeah.
Smart for him.
Correct.
I mean, what else are we doing? So, let's go right into last week. Do you have how you did for the...
No, but you have it.
No, I don't have it.
You wrote it on the sheet.
How you did... No, I know how you did last week. I don't know how you did for the spread.
Yeah, it's on the sheet.
No. The only thing that's on the sheet is the games we picked. Just the picks.
Let me see it. So, this is right here, right? New Orleans, Pittsburgh, Dallas.
Correct.
Okay.
That's who we picked.
That's who picked.
That's who we both picked. Those are the games we picked. That's not what we wrote down for the spreads.
All right. Well, I'll go through it right now, and I'll tell you how I did.
Well, we're just going to go back to week 11? What did it say? All right. No, it doesn't say.
So.
Oh, you're going to look at your thing.
Yeah, I had the Saints. So I had the Saints plus 3.5. So that's 1-0. I had the 49ers minus 13. So that's a half. 1-0-1. Redskins minus 3. 2-0-1. I had the Steelers minus 8.5. 3-0-1. I had the Ravens plus 7.5. They lost, so 3-1-1. I had the Lions minus 6.5, so that was 4-1-1. I had the Titans plus 3.5. They lost, so that's 4-2-1. I had the Bills plus 3.5, so that's 5-2-1. I had the Chiefs. They didn't cover, so that's 5-3-1. I had the Giants. What was the Giants minus 7?
Yeah.
So that's
5-4-1.
5-4-1. I had the Cardinals, so that's 5-5-1. I had the Dolphins, which is 6-5-1. And then I had the Eagles, so that's 6-6-1. But then I had the Raiders
7-6. Just put 7 and 6 on the thing.
Where's that marker?
Here it is. So let's put 7 and 6 on there. Let's do the math real quick. We got 19, 30, 41, 48, 56, and 14, 70, 75, 85, 92, and 12, 21, 27. Is that a 5? 8, 5, and 2? Is that what that says? What's that middle number for weeks?
Right here?
No, up. Right there. That
5.
one. 5. All right, so wait a minute. 12, 9, 21, and 11 is 32. 8 is 40, 46, 52. 55, 61. So 92 and 61. Okay, let's see here. Calculator, 92 plus 61 is 153. 92 divided by 153, 60%. Okay. All right, so here's the deal. Last week, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., I messed up your stats. You actually went 3-10, not 2-11. So that was 2 weeks ago. Last week, this past week, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., you went 10-4. CV Gunn, you went 11-3. Vadix went 9-5. And Yes to Anything That's Cool Awesome went 11-3. So here are the updated standings. In first place, Yes to Anything That Is Cool Awesome at 98, 59-2. Second place, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. at 95, 62-2, 2 games out. Third place, CV Gunn at 93, 64-2. That is 5 games out. And in the last place, Vadix, 83, 74-2, 13 games out. Last week I went 8-6, and Mclovin went 10-4, which means CV Gunn and Yes to Anything That Is Cool Awesome. You have won gift cards. Email me at andyvhb@aol.com. The standings for me and Mclovin here, I am 88, 69-2, and Mclovin leads the entire league at 101, 56-2. He has a 3-game lead over Yes to Anything That Is Cool Awesome. I am 13 games behind.
That's pretty much
over.
Yeah.
Unless I literally just take every other team, but that's not going to make it worse.
Unless I switch lines, and you win by default.
Okay, so here's correct. That's an inside joke. Only me and him will get. Maybe the big ticket will get. All right, so let's go right on into the scores. Thursday's games. This is the Thanksgiving shenanigan, Shanarama. Mm-hmm. We got Minnesota in Detroit at 12:30 p.m. Detroit at home favored by 2.5.
Detroit.
Minus 2.5?
Yeah.
Okay. 4:30 p.m. game, we have Washington in Dallas. Dallas at home favored by 7.
I'm going to take
That's actually going to be a real good game.
Washington plus 7.
Okay, Washington plus 7. And then Steelers at the 8:30 game, Pittsburgh in Indy. Without Andrew Luck, I believe Pittsburgh on the road favored by 9. Probably take Indy minus 9.
Indy plus 9.
That's what I mean, Indy plus 9. Because here's the deal. Pittsburgh barely covered against Cleveland. Took to the fourth quarter.
Correct.
So I don't know what the hell's going on there. So then we go to Sunday. Sunday at 1 o'clock, we have Tennessee in Chicago. Tennessee favored by 5 on the road.
Tennessee.
Jacksonville in Buffalo. Buffalo at home favored by 7.5.
Buffalo minus 7.5.
Cincinnati in Baltimore. Baltimore at home favored by 4.5.
Baltimore.
Arizona in Atlanta. Atlanta at home favored by 4.5.
Arizona. No, Atlanta, sorry.
Atlanta minus 4.5.
Correct.
All right. New York Giants in Cleveland. New York Giants on the road favored by 7.
Giants minus 7.
Los Angeles in New Orleans. New Orleans at home favored by 7.
Rams plus 7.
Really?
Yeah.
That's ooh. San Francisco in Miami. Miami at home favored by 7.5.
Miami minus 7.5.
San Diego in Houston. San Diego on the road favored by 1.5.
Houston.
Plus 1.5.
Yeah.
Seattle, the 4:05 p.m. game. Seattle in Tampa. Seattle on the road favored by 6.
Seattle minus 6.
Panthers, Carolina in Oakland. Oakland at home favored by 3.5 at the 4:25 p.m. game.
Oakland minus 3.5.
New England, the other 4:25 p.m. game. New England in New York to face the Jets on the road. Patriots favored by 8.
I'm going to take the Jets plus 8.
Sure.
Just because that game's always close for some reason.
Kansas City in the 8:30 Sunday night game. Kansas City in Denver. Denver at home favored by 3.5.
Kansas City plus 3.5.
And then the Monday night game, Green Bay in Philly. Philadelphia favored by 3.5 at home. Philly.
I'm going to take Philly minus a point.
All right, let's go into our pick'ems. Our pick'ems. Sure. So Minnesota, Detroit. Who do you got? C.
Detroit.
All right, you're going to pick Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. I will pick Minnesota. Washington and Dallas.
Dallas.
I'm taking the upset. Washington.
Really? Wow.
I hope so. Pittsburgh and Indy. Who do you got?
Pittsburgh.
Okay, we both agree there. Tennessee, Chicago.
Tennessee.
Okay. Jacksonville, Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Okay. Cincinnati, Baltimore.
Baltimore.
I have a feeling Cincinnati will win that in a close game. They have to win to keep their I mean, I think Baltimore leads the division, right, with a 5-5 record with Pittsburgh.
Things are tied.
They're tied at 5-5. Yeah, so they're only 2 games out, or 1.5 out, whatever. I'm going to take Cincy in that game. Arizona and Atlanta.
Atlanta.
I'm going to take Arizona. I have a feeling that with that loss last week, they're still in it, but they really need to play. They're probably going to rally around Bruce Arians. New York Giants in Cleveland.
The Giants.
Okay, then we got Los Angeles and New Orleans.
Los Angeles and New Orleans.
Okay, San Francisco, Miami.
Miami.
Okay, San Diego, Houston.
Houston.
I take San Diego. Seattle, Tampa.
Seattle.
Okay, Carolina, Oakland.
Oakland.
Okay, Patriots, Jets.
Pats.
Chiefs, Broncos.
Chiefs.
No. I'm going to take Denver. All right, and then we got Packers, Eagles.
Eagles.
Okay, I'm going to take Green Bay. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 games that differ. If I win all 7, I'm only down 6.
Correct.
So we'll see what happens. It is our favorite time of the week. Favorite time of the week. It's Pat McGrath's favorite time of the week.
My dad.
His dad's favorite time of the week, yeah. It is EDP445, and he's coming at us with another video.
Or another phone call.
Another phone call, actually, yeah. That would have been funnier had I thought of that.
What's poppin', my nigga?
What's up with it, nigga?
He was close. McLovin said you were going to say what's poppin' with it, but you came up with what's up. So that was pretty close.
I was cracking.
All right. So we got a bunch of stuff to quickly cover here in the time that we have, but I want to get a news article came out about the Eagles, about Doug Peterson thinking that he's going to give Nelson Aguilar a little less, trying to think of a word here, playing time, but a little less responsibility is the word I'm looking for, because, to try to get his head straight. What do you think of that?
He benched him in the most pussified fucking way ever, dude. If you go back and look at the news conference, man, they were talking about how bad he's been. Some motherfucking Doug Peterson goes, man, you should have seen his facial expression. Fuck what he said. Like, you should have saw his body language. This nigga goes, well, you know, sometimes you have to take a couple steps backwards to move forward. It's like, bitch, the motherfucker suck, man. Like, get somebody else in there, dude. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you don't get motherfucking McLovin to play fucking receiver, man. At least the bitch is gonna try. You feel me?
I'm better than him and Aguilar is.
Fuck yeah, you are, Doug.
All right, so real quick deal. We got a couple of games on the docket. Let's see. Me and McLovin have 7 different games that we picked. First up, we got Detroit, Minnesota. Minnesota's at home. Thanksgiving Day. Who do you have? Or no, it's Detroit's home. I'm an idiot. Detroit's at home against Minnesota. Who do you have in that game?
Oh, I got the Lions, dude. I mean, you know, I just feel like the Vikings, man, they're on the fucking decline, dude. I don't know if they won last week, but dude,
Yeah,
I feel the Lions are running away with the NFC. Is it NFC North? I believe it is.
Yes,
So you picked the Lions, right, McClain?
I did.
Yeah, I almost screwed it up. I put Detroit, Minnesota over there. All right, next game on Thanksgiving, Washington at Dallas. Who do you got?
Oh, man.
That's probably the best game of the 3.
Yeah, dude. I'm going, damn, that's fucking tough, dude. I'm going to go with the Cowboys, man.
All right, McLovin's 2-0 with you. Next game, Cincinnati and Baltimore. Who do you got?
I got the Ravens, dude. Cincinnati fucking sucks, man.
Yeah, they do. I agree.
Fuck, dude.
All right, 3-0 is McLovin. Arizona and Atlanta. Who do you got?
I got the Falcons.
McLovin and EDP 4-0 against me. San Diego, Houston. Who do you got?
Houston.
That's 5-0. Denver and Kansas City. Who do you got? They're playing in Denver.
Kansas City.
It's going to be a clean sweep. Green Bay, Philadelphia. Who do you got? Well, I know who he's going to pick.
Green Bay.
Yeah, there you go. So 6-1. So you agree with McLovin 6 out of the 7 games. So that's that. And the last thing we got to talk. Before we get to the last thing, what is your upset of the week?
My upset of the week is I have the Buccaneers. Oh no, fuck that! I got the Browns over the Giants. Fuck.
I like it.
I hate the Giants. I hope the Giants do lose to Cleveland. That'd be fucking hilarious. In my Facebook feed, all I got over here in this area of Massachusetts, because we're such on the New York border, is the Giants this, the Giants that. It's fucking terrible, and I got to keep looking at it through Facebook. So I hope the Giants lose so they all shut the fuck up against an 0-11 team with the 7th concussion quarterback that they have.
Yep.
I mean, I think all the quarterbacks have a fucking concussion on that team. Every single one of them except RG3. All right, so last thing we want to get into is this. You actually made a video on it when we were down in New York. Me, you, and McCloven talked about it. But it's just your responses. I don't know, McClain, if you saw this video, but he basically said, what we've been saying, that no matter what, the fans will always care more than the players and the coaches. The fans will always care more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I didn't know if you wanted to expand on that, ADP, at all.
Oh, definitely, man. The fans will always care more than the coaches and players, man. I feel like this is like, any of you guys that, are familiar with wrestling, I feel like it's a 2-on-1 handicap match, you feel me? And unfortunately, the fans always come out on the losing end, you know what I mean? And the players and coaches who do care, you notice how they go on to win Super Bowls and become Hall of Fame players, man. These average Joe motherfuckers that don't give a damn, they don't give a fuck about us, man. You feel me? They only give a fuck about, if we're paying these motherfuckers, you feel me? Like, they don't give a damn. When they leave, at the end of the day, it's just a job. They leave, they're done, whatever. It's us, the fans, man. And I'm left wondering, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is wrong with the fucking team that I've been rooting for my entire life, And it rips our fucking hearts out every single fucking year, dude. I know, man. I'm an Eagles fan, dude. We haven't won a championship in over 50 plus fucking years, dude. And I gotta sit back and hear from these punk-ass motherfuckers all goddamn day. Eagles ain't shit. It's like, you know what, man? So...
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the deal. And in reference to this video, in reference to this subject, EDP actually texted me a photo at the end of the Eagles Seahawks game, where 2 of the Eagles players were just laughing it up with one of the Seahawks players, and they just lost. It's like, and I get EDP's point. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You just especially with the fact that Philadelphia's never won a Super Bowl, especially with that fact, you would figure that at some point, whoever was on that team would somehow, it doesn't matter what year it is, but you'd figure 90% of that team would try to band together and think to themselves, we could make history. We could be the team that finally got it done when no other team did. And it just shows that obviously they don't fucking care because they're just laughing it up. We're in the basement. Who gives a fuck? They're going to go home. They're going to go fuck their wives or whatever the case may be, and they're going to go play Madden or whatever the case is. That's all they have all the millions of fucking dollars in the whole world. So,
exactly, dude, and it makes me fucking sick. I mean, it's like motherfuckers travel, dude. Okay, so at the Eagles and Raiders game, like 3, maybe 4 years ago. There were these people, regardless if we won or not, it just shows how dedicated us fans are to seeing our team and how much we support them. These people flew in from Scotland to watch the Eagles and Raiders play. These motherfuckers flew in from Hawaii to watch the Eagles and Raiders play. It's like, this shit ain't cheap.
No.
Like, you gotta do flights, hotels, cars, whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, you just fucking spit in our fucking face. I mean, I don't know about the next motherfucker, but I don't like having spit being thrown in my fucking face.
No.
You know what I mean? And it fucking hurts, dude. It fucking crushes me every single fucking time. It's like, I understand why people bandwagon fucking teams because it's not worth the goddamn headache, man. You players don't give a fuck, so why should we? Feel me?
But it's tough because we can have that view, but at the end of the day, we can sit here and we can say whether it's been you, whether it's been me with the Red Sox, or right now it's the fucking the Celtics and Bruins for me. But we can sit here and we can say, fuck this team, I can't watch them anymore. But they always draw you back in because deep down you love them so much that you don't have a choice. All this stuff, unfortunately, is just empty threats.
It's loyalty.
It's loyalty is what it is. You can get mad all you want. It sucks because at the end of the day, you know you're going to turn the TV back on. Because it's just human nature. It's what you have to do because you love the team so much. So, all right, that's the drill. That's this week's show. Remember, Mclovin is going home and visiting his family. EDP, I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, same to you guys, man. I love you guys having me on the show every week, man. It's a beautiful fucking show, man. You guys do an awesome job every week, man.
All right, thanks, EDP.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week, man. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Tell Pops I said hi, and he doesn't know who the hell I am, but I thought it'd be funny if I said that. And we'll see what happens. All right, man. Take it easy.
Take care.
All right, man. You guys too, man. Have a great holiday.
All right, you too, dude. All right, that's the show. Happy Thanksgiving to all you fuckers, and stay tuned on Thursday for a special Scratch Ticket Thursday Thanksgiving Spectacular. McLovin doesn't sound too enthralled about that. Doesn't look too enthralled about that.
I'll be watching it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'll be here for it.
You will?
Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, you're having Thanksgiving tomorrow.
Well, no, we're having Thanksgiving on Thursday, but I have to come back because we're working on Friday.
Yeah, but I probably will do it in the middle of the day.
Oh, okay.
Who knows?
Either way.
Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's the drill. And then maybe Thursday I'm going to try to see if I can hook up this NES Classic Edition and see if I can record some of the video.
Did you already do the release?
Yeah, I already did the unboxing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got lucky. See? All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
See ya.